How to write a review. Being able to criticize something you've experienced is very important. For one, to tell people if you experience something good, and on the other hand, to tell people if you experience something bad. A review can really be about anything, from a movie to a restaurant and so much more. Remember that a review can both be critical and give praise. Divide your review into paragraphs with clear introductions and a clear conclusion. Remember to give a good description of what you are reviewing. Save recommendations or warnings for the last paragraph. To write a good review, a good and honest review, there are some tips and tricks. The first one is to take notes. It's important that you take notes because when you write the review when you're done with something, it's important that you remember what your first thoughts were. So it's important to take notes. The second one is to be nuanced. And that's important because you have to see things from a different point of view and be open to new experiences. So that's important when you're writing a review. So I hope our tips and tricks will help you to be able to write and experience new things. Thank you.
How to write a literary analysis essay. To write a good literary analysis essay, you have to retell the story for those who haven't read the book. To do this, you need to find a theme which suits the book. For example, if it is about a romance, then the theme would be true love. And then develop your analysis from the main theme of the book or text. In this case, you would call the theme for thesis statement. This statement is going to be your analysis main body, which you have to continually link back to, in a way that the reader understands your way of retelling the story. In the main body, which comes after the introduction, you can use multiple paragraphs to show different aspects of the story. In other words, you can use 3 paragraphs to explain the different ways that your book is about true love. Compared to the more scientific analysis, your body is the equivalent of the results in the scientific analysis. You should also always keep your thesis statement in the back of your mind. Normally, you should use 3 different aspects or points of view of the same story. When this has been completed, you summarize all the points and you still have to keep your thesis statement in mind. For example, if your thesis is true love only exists in the books and fictional words, then you need to explain in your conclusion why you believe so, and with the help of your 3 different aspects. So, tips for writing a well-written literary analysis. Tips number 1. Come up with a good thesis statement and think about the easiest way you can develop a novel from the main theme. Your chosen theme should be easy to find evidence for, and it should be easier to explain your way of thinking. So if you're reading a romantic novel, it is easier to build on something other than a novel about love. Tips number 2. Start with a catchy introduction so that the reader is absorbed into the text. A bad beginning to an introduction would be, "This book is about love." Instead, making it more interesting for the reader to keep on reading with interesting facts, or why not to begin with an interesting or a catchy quote from the book. The book is the largest part. The tips number 3. The body is the largest part of your analysis where you give an evidence and support for your thesis. To prove your statement, it would be best to use quotes from the novel itself, which supports your thesis. A body which doesn't support your point causes it to fall apart on its own. Tips number 4. Okay, tip number 4. Finish your analysis with an accurate conclusion. This is easily done by summarizing the body or picking the most important and the main parts from it. Try not to repeat yourself too often, but instead to try to summarize your body with a few short sentences, all about different things. So that was about it to write a good thesis statement. So good luck.
How to write a formal letter. So, it is important that you're aware of how to write a formal letter in English. You will have a lot of use for that knowledge, since a well-written cover letter even could be giving you a job. There are many conventions, though, that you are expected to use in your formal letter, and luckily for you, I am here to teach you those. So, begin your letter with a friendly salutation. Dear. Ensure that you address the person formally using Mr., Mrs., Miss, or Doctor. If you don't know the person's name, use Sir or Madam or to whom it may concern. Yes, and since letters in English usually never are longer than necessary, the body of your letter should not be more than 3 paragraphs. If you can't write your letter in 3 paragraphs, you're probably not being concise enough. In the first paragraph, you state the purpose of your letter and the reason for you writing it. For example, I am writing to apply for, or I am writing to you with regard to. It could be a request, complaint, etc. In the middle paragraph or paragraphs, you include all the information that is relevant for the purpose of your letter. It is appropriate to use linking words. The content should consist of only what is essential, and when changing topic, you should start a new paragraph. If possible, use concrete examples to underline or stress your point. In the last paragraph, you briefly summarize your letter and state what you expect the recipient to do. Use a set phrase like, I look forward to hearing from you. And end your letter with an appropriate salutation. Yours sincerely, if you know the person, or yours faithfully, if you do not know the person. So, what are you not allowed to include in your letter? Informal language is strictly forbidden, so do not use contractions. So, good luck with your letter.
Är du klar?